The massive battleship Relentless drifted silently in the dark space near the Orion Arm. Its black hull absorbed the distant starlight, making it look like a hole in space itself. Inside the bridge, red warning lights flashed as more enemy ships appeared on the radar screen. Captain James Walker stood straight, his weathered hands gripping the command rail, his gray eyes fixed on the main screen, watching as hundreds of alien ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Their purple-tinted hulls glowed against the backdrop of stars, forming a wall of death that stretched as far as the eye could see. Enemy count now at 317 ships, Captain, reported Lieutenant Emma Thompson from her weapons station. Her voice remained steady, but her knuckles were white as she gripped her console. Walker nodded slowly. He had expected this. The Coalition never did anything small. They always came in overwhelming numbers, crushing their enemies through sheer force. That strategy had worked against every other species in the galaxy, until now. Engineering report, Walker commanded, his voice echoing in the tense silence of the bridge. Commander Grant's voice crackled through the speakers. Quantum core is stable, Captain. All systems are green. We can do this. Before Walker could respond, a transmission cut through all channels. The main screen filled with the image of a Coalition admiral. Its jellyfish-like head pulsed with colors of victory and dominance. Human vessel, the alien's translator spoke in flat tones. Earth has fallen. Your colonies are under our control. Surrender now, and we will show mercy to your crew. Walker looked around his bridge. 20 years of service had taught him to read human faces well. He saw fear there, yes, but also determination. These weren't just his crew anymore. They were humanity's last free warriors. Play the message, he ordered quietly. A different screen lit up. The scene showed Earth's orbital defense platforms in ruins. Coalition ships surrounded the blue planet like a swarm of locusts. The transmission was 12 hours old. Lieutenant Thompson's console peeped. Sir, I'm detecting their weapons powering up. They're not waiting for our response. Walker smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind of smile that hunters would recognize, the smile of a predator who had just watched its prey walk into a trap. Send our response, he ordered. Text only. The message was simple. Look behind you. Confusion rippled through the Coalition fleet. Several ships began to turn, their sensors scanning for hidden threats, but there was nothing there. Nothing but empty space and distant stars. Walker pressed a button on his chair. All hands, this is the captain speaking. Earth may have fallen, but humanity hasn't. What we do here today will be remembered for 1,000 years. Every alien race watching will learn why you should never corner a human. Battle stations. The Relentless hummed to life. Its black hull began to shimmer as hidden systems activated. This wasn't just any battleship. It was humanity's masterpiece. A vessel that contained technology the Coalition had banned centuries ago, perfected in secret by human engineers who refused to accept limits on their innovation. Quantum core output at maximum. Commander Grant reported. Ready on your command. The Coalition fleet started moving forward. Their formation was perfect, a killing wall designed to destroy anything in its path. They had used this same strategy to defeat 17 other species. Walker took a deep breath. Send the signal to Admiral Reynolds. Tell him the hunt begins. He straightened his uniform and gave the order that would change galactic history. Activate the quantum drive. Let's show them why humanity survived on a planet full of predators. The Relentless began to move, its engines glowing with impossible colors. The Coalition ships opened fire, their energy weapons lighting up space like artificial stars. But they were already too late. The last free human battleship dove straight into the heart of the enemy fleet, carrying with it humanity's revenge and the most devastating weapon ever created. The real battle was about to begin. The Relentless moved like a shark through the Coalition fleet, its black hull absorbing enemy fire as if it were nothing more than rain. Inside the massive engine room, Commander Grant watched the quantum core pulse with deep blue light. The machine wasn't supposed to exist. The Coalition had banned this technology across the galaxy. Core temperature holding steady at 90%, reported Engineer Pete Wilson. his hands dancing across 3 different control panels. They have no idea what they're dealing with. The quantum core was humanity's greatest secret. While other species had given up this research, claiming it was too dangerous, human scientists had worked in hidden bases beneath Earth's oceans. They had solved the stability problem that had killed so many alien researchers. The solution had been surprisingly simple. They just needed to think about space-time differently. On the bridge, Captain Walker watched as another wave of coalition ships moved to surround them. Their purple energy beams splashed harmlessly against the relentless hull, dispersed by fields that shouldn't have been possible. "Enemy ships are transmitting in confusion, sir," Lieutenant Thompson reported with a slight smile. "They don't understand why their weapons aren't working. Their commanders are arguing with each other." Walker nodded. "Show me their formation on the main screen." The display lit up, showing hundreds of red dots surrounding the single blue dot that represented the Relentless. The coalition ships had formed a sphere around them, trying to trap the human vessel. It was exactly what Walker had wanted. "Sir," Commander Grant's voice came through the speakers. "The quantum core is ready for the first test. Should I start the sequence?" Walker looked at the tactical display one more time. "Do it. Target the ship at bearing 340. Let's show them what they were right to fear." Deep in the ship's heart, the quantum core's pulses changed from blue to white. Energy flowed through specially designed chambers, creating a field that human scientists had named the Unmaker. The Coalition had banned this research because they couldn't control it. Humans had succeeded because they didn't try to control it. They worked with it. "Target locked," Thompson announced. "Ready to fire." Walker stood from his chair. "Send a message to all Coalition ships. Watch carefully. This is why you never should have attacked Earth." The Relentless turned slightly, bringing its main weapon to bear on a Coalition heavy cruiser. The alien ship was 3 times larger than the human vessel, its hull covered in weapons that could destroy a small moon. "Fire," Walker ordered quietly. A beam of pure white light shot from the Relentless. It didn't look impressive. There was no thunder, no explosion, no dramatic flash. The beam simply touched the Coalition ship, and reality began to unravel. The alien vessel started to fold in on itself, its matter being rewritten by quantum forces that no living being fully understood. In less than 10 seconds, the massive warship had collapsed into a sphere the size of a marble, then vanished completely from existence. Silence fell across all communication channels. Every alien ship stopped firing, their crews frozen in horror at what they had just witnessed. "Message from Coalition Command," Thompson reported, her voice shaking with excitement. "They're demanding to know what we did. They're scared, Captain." Walker smiled. "Tell engineering to begin charging for a full spread. And send this message to all Coalition ships. That was just a test. The real demonstration begins in 5 minutes. Anyone who doesn't want to cease existing should leave. Now." The Coalition fleet erupted into chaos. Ships began breaking formation, their captains no longer caring about orders. Some tried to jump to faster than light speed. Others turned to run at normal speeds. Their perfect sphere of death had become a panicked mob. "Sir," Thompson reported, "I'm detecting signals from the Coalition command ship. They're calling for reinforcements. Every ship in their empire is being ordered to converge on our position." Walker sat back in his chair, looking more relaxed than he had in weeks. "Good. The more they bring, the more we'll witness what happens when you push humanity too far. Prepare the quantum core for multiple targets. It's time to show the galaxy why Earth survived all these millennia. We don't just fight to win, we fight to make sure nobody ever threatens us again." The Relentless moved forward, its quantum core pulsing brighter, ready to unleash a power that would change the galaxy forever. The Relentless moved through space like a wolf among sheep, but Captain Walker knew better than to get overconfident. The Coalition fleet was in disarray, but their ships still outnumbered his 300 to 1. More importantly, their reinforcements were coming. "Jump calculations complete," Lieutenant Thompson announced from her station. "We can make 3 jumps before the quantum core needs to cool down." Walker studied the star map on his screen. The Coalition thought they were chasing a wounded animal trying to escape. They didn't realize they were following a trail of breadcrumbs laid out months ago. "Send the signal to Admiral Reynolds," Walker ordered. "Tell him Phase 2 is starting." The Relentless disappeared in a flash of light, jumping through space in a way that broke several laws of physics. When they reappeared, they were in the Tau sector, where another Coalition fleet waited. "New contacts." Thompson's voice rose with excitement. 500 Coalition ships just detected us. They're moving to attack position." Walker nodded calmly. "Send them the same message we sent the others. Let's see if these ones are smarter." But the Coalition commander in this sector was young and eager for glory. Instead of running, their ships formed an attack pattern and charged forward, weapons blazing. "They never learn," Walker sighed. "Engineering, give me enough power for 2 demonstration shots." The quantum core hummed louder, its white light filling the engine room. Commander Grant's voice came through with a hint of amusement. "Ready when you are, Captain. Which ones would you like us to erase today?" Walker pointed at the screen. "Those 2 command ships. Let's see how well they fight without leadership." 2 beams of white light shot out from the Relentless. 2 Coalition command ships vanished from existence, taking their admirals and command crews with them. The remaining alien ships scattered like startled birds. "Jump to Point Beta," Walker ordered. "Let's collect some more followers." The Relentless jumped again, this time appearing in the Perseus Arm. Here, they found the Coalition's largest shipyard and another 1,000 warships. The quantum core's light pulsed faster as the alien vessels turned to face them. "Sir," Thompson reported, checking her screens, "I'm tracking quantum wake signatures. The ships from the last 2 encounters are following us. They'll be here in less than 10 minutes." Walker smiled. Everything was going according to plan. "Send a message to the shipyard. Your reinforcements are coming. Stay and watch what happens to them, or run and live. You have 5 minutes to decide." The shipyard commander was smarter than his colleagues. Within 3 minutes, evacuation orders spread through the alien fleet. Ships began jumping away in all directions, leaving the massive shipyard defenseless. "Sir," Commander Grant called from engineering, "the quantum core is running better than expected. We could take out that shipyard right now." But Walker shook his head. "Not yet. We need it intact for Phase 3. How many Coalition ships are still chasing us?" Thompson checked her instruments. 817 ships have followed us through the jumps. More are arriving every minute. "Sir, this is the largest fleet gathering in recorded history." Walker stood up from his chair and walked to the front of the bridge. Through the massive windows, he could see the Coalition shipyard. Behind them, space itself was lighting up as hundreds of alien warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel, all hoping to be the ones who finally destroyed the human vessel. "Send the final signal to Admiral Reynolds," Walker ordered. "Tell him the trap is ready." He turned to his crew, his eyes shining with fierce pride. "They thought they could hunt us. Instead, we led them exactly where we wanted them. Now they're all gathered in one place, watching each other's backs, waiting for us to run or surrender." He sat back in his command chair as the quantum core's hum reached its peak. "But humanity doesn't run, and we definitely don't surrender. It's time to show them why." The Relentless turned to face the gathered Coalition fleet, its weapon systems charging for what would become the most memorable battle in galactic history. While the Relentless faced down the largest fleet in galactic history, deep in an asteroid belt at the edge of human space, Admiral Mark Reynolds watched his plan unfold. His hidden base, carved into a massive rock, held humanity's greatest secret: 9 more battleships just like the Relentless, each equipped with their own quantum cores. "Sir," his communications officer reported, "we're receiving Captain Walker's signal. The Coalition fleet has gathered exactly where we predicted." Reynolds nodded, his scared face lit by the blue glow of holographic screens. He had spent 5 years planning this moment, ever since they discovered the Coalition was planning to attack Earth. Now it was time to show the galaxy why that had been a mistake. "Open a channel," Reynolds ordered. "Broadcast on all frequencies, all languages, to every corner of the galaxy. Let everyone see what happens next." The communications officer pressed several buttons. and a red light began blinking. They were now broadcasting to every ship, planet, and station that could receive signals. Even species that weren't part of the war would witness what was about to happen. Reynolds stood up straight, his voice clear and strong. To all species of the galaxy, I am Admiral Mark Reynolds of the Human Defense Force. You are about to witness why the Coalition should have left Earth alone. Watch carefully. This demonstration will only happen once. On the main screen, the Relentless floated in space, seemingly small against the massive Coalition fleet that surrounded it. Over 900 alien ships had gathered, their weapons charged, waiting for the human vessel to make its final move. Captain Walker, Reynolds transmitted, "You have permission to activate Protocol Omega." Aboard the Relentless, Walker received the message and turned to his crew. "You heard the Admiral. Lieutenant Thompson, begin the sequence. Commander Grant, take the quantum core to maximum power." The Coalition fleet commanders were puzzled. Why would humans broadcast their plans to the entire galaxy? Their confusion turned to shock when the Relentless quantum core began to pulse with a new pattern, one that defied their sensor readings. "Sir," Thompson reported, her voice steady despite the tension, "the Coalition ships are detecting the power buildup. They're starting to move back." Walker smiled. "Too late for that. Activate the quantum cascade." The Relentless quantum core released a pulse of energy unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. It wasn't a weapon that destroyed ships. It was something far worse. The pulse spread out in all directions, creating a web of quantum connections between every Coalition ship and range. On the Coalition vessels, alarms began to sound. Their own power cores were being linked together through quantum space, creating a chain reaction that their scientists had theorized but never dared to test. Reynolds continued his broadcast. For centuries, the Coalition banned quantum research, claiming it was too dangerous. They were right. It was dangerous. But humans don't fear danger. We master it. We take what makes others run away, and we turn it into our strength. The quantum cascade reached its first Coalition ship. The vessel's matter began to fold in on itself, but this time, the effect spread to the next ship through the quantum web. Then the next, and the next. "Look at your scanners," Reynolds announced to the galaxy. The Coalition brought 900 ships to destroy one human vessel. In the next 5 minutes, you will watch every single one of those ships cease to exist. Remember this day. Remember what happened when they thought they could enslave humanity. On screens across thousands of worlds, billions of aliens watched as the mighty Coalition fleet began to vanish, ship by ship. The quantum cascade turned their own mass against them, erasing them from reality in a chain reaction that couldn't be stopped. "This," Reynolds continued, his voice carrying across the stars, "was just our first battleship. Earth has 9 more, each carrying the same weapon. The Coalition thought they had won when they took our homeworld. They didn't realize they were giving us exactly what we needed, a reason to stop holding back." The Relentless stood unchanged in space, its black hull reflecting the light of disappearing Coalition ships, broadcasting a clear message to the galaxy. Humanity was done being underestimated. The Arcturus sector lit up with impossible colors as hundreds of Coalition ships began to fold into nothingness. The quantum cascade spread like a wave through their fleet, each disappearing ship triggering the destruction of those nearby. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. On the bridge of the Relentless, Lieutenant Thompson watched for sensors with wide eyes. "Sir, the cascade effect is spreading faster than we calculated. 80% of the Coalition fleet has already been erased from existence." Captain Walker stood at the front of the bridge, his hands clasped behind his back. "Show me the quantum web pattern." The main screen displayed a complex network of glowing lines connecting the remaining Coalition ships. Each line represented a quantum link, turning their own mass into a weapon against them. The pattern looked like a spider's web made of light, with the Relentless at its center. "Message from engineering," Thompson reported. "Commander Grant says the quantum core is performing beyond expectations. The cascade is self-sustaining now. We couldn't stop it even if we wanted to." Walker nodded slowly. "Good. Send visual feeds to Admiral Reynolds. Let him show the galaxy exactly what happens when you push humanity too far. In his hidden base, Admiral Reynolds watched the data stream in. The quantum cascade was working better than their scientists had predicted. Not only were the coalition ships being erased, but the very space they'd occupied was being altered. "Sir," his science officer reported, "we're detecting changes in the fabric of space-time around the cascade effect. The coalition ships aren't just being destroyed, they're being removed from history itself. There will be no debris, no wreckage, nothing to salvage or study." Reynolds smiled grimly. "Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Broadcast these readings to every scientific institution in the galaxy. Let them see what humans can do with the technology they fear to study." Back on the Relentless, the crew watched in silence as their enemies vanished one by one. These were the same coalition ships that had attacked Earth, that had thought humanity would be an easy conquest. Now they were learning the price of that mistake. "Captain," Thompson called out, her voice urgent, "I'm detecting power spikes in the remaining coalition ships. They're trying to overload their engines. They're attempting suicide jumps." But Walker remained calm. "They can't escape. The quantum web has them trapped. Their own engines will just add more energy to the cascade." He was right. As the coalition ships attempted to jump to faster than light speed, their engine power was caught by the quantum web. Each failed attempt only made the cascade stronger, spreading faster through their remaining fleet. 95% of enemy ships erased, Thompson announced. The last ones are trying to broadcast surrender messages. Walker shook his head. Too late for that. They had their chance to surrender before the cascade began. Now they get to serve as an example. The final coalition ships flickered like dying stars, their hulls twisting in impossible ways as the quantum effect consumed them. In less than 10 minutes, over 900 of the most powerful warships ever built had been completely erased from existence. The Relentless floated alone in empty space. Where there had been a mighty invasion fleet, there was now nothing. Not even dust remained to show they had ever existed. "Quantum cascade complete," Thompson reported quietly. "All coalition ships have been eliminated. Space-time readings are returning to normal." Walker turned to face his crew. Every person on the bridge stood a little straighter, knowing they had just changed the course of history. "Send word to Admiral Reynolds. Tell him Phase 1 is complete. It's time to take back Earth." The Relentless quantum core pulsed with renewed energy, its power undiminished by the massive display of force. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Humanity had shown the galaxy its new weapon, and now every species watching would have to decide: stand with Earth or face the same fate as the coalition fleet. In the depths of space, the quantum cascade's effects slowly faded, leaving behind a changed galaxy and a clear message: humanity was done being the underdog. News of the coalition fleet's destruction spread across the galaxy at the speed of light. On 1,000 worlds, alien species watched the recordings over and over, unable to believe what they had seen. One human ship had erased 900 coalition warships from existence, leaving no trace behind. In the Centauri system, the enslaved bug people stopped their forced labor in the coalition mines. Their hive queens gathered to watch the broadcasts, their compound eyes reflecting the images of coalition ships vanishing into nothing. After centuries of oppression, they dared to feel something new: hope. On the trading worlds of the Mercant Alliance, the four armed traders closed their markets for the first time in 10,000 years. They gathered in their meeting halls, calculating the new balance of power. The coalition had ruled through fear for so long that no one had imagined they could be defeated. "Captain," Lieutenant Thompson reported aboard the Relentless, "we're receiving transmissions from across the galaxy. Every major species is broadcasting reactions to what they just witnessed." Walker moved to her station, watching the flood of incoming signals. "Show me the most important ones." The main screen filled with images from different worlds. The crystal beings of the Rigel system were shattering their coalition control crystals. The warrior clans of the Orion Belt were calling for rebellion. Even the ancient observers, who hadn't taken sides in a galactic conflict for 10,000 years, had emerged from their meditation chambers to watch. "Sir," Thompson said with excitement in her voice, The Bug people have overthrown their coalition masters in 3 major systems already. They're asking for human protection against retaliation. Walker smiled. This was exactly what they had hoped for. Send them this message. Earth stands with all species who want freedom. The coalition's time is over. In his hidden base, Admiral Reynolds watched the galaxy's reaction with satisfaction. Send the signal to activate our other battleships, he ordered. It's time for Phase 2. Across human space, 9 more quantum-powered vessels emerged from their secret docks. Each one was identical to the Relentless, each carrying the same weapon that had just erased a coalition fleet from existence. On coalition-controlled worlds, panic spread through their leadership. Their mighty fleet had been destroyed by 1 human ship, and now there were 10 of them. The coalition's supreme leaders called an emergency meeting for the first time in their history. "Captain," Thompson called out, "the coalition leadership is broadcasting on all frequencies. They're asking for terms of surrender." Walker shook his head. "No, not yet. First, they watch what happens to their control over Earth. Admiral Reynolds, are you receiving this?" "Loud and clear, Captain," Reynolds replied through the comm system. "All ships are in position. The coalition forces occupying Earth have no idea what's coming. You may proceed with the demonstration." The Relentless moved through space towards Earth, its black hull now feared by every species watching. Coalition ships that had been guarding human colonies fled at its approach. None dared to fire a single shot. "Sir," Thompson reported with a smile, "I'm picking up transmissions from Earth's surface. The resistance fighters are rising up in every city. They've seen what we can do, and they're no longer afraid." Walker stood at the front of his bridge, looking at the tactical display showing Earth surrounded by coalition occupation forces. Soon, those ships would face the same fate as their main fleet. But more importantly, every species in the galaxy was watching, learning a lesson that would last for generations. "Send one final message," Walker ordered. "Broadcast it to every corner of the galaxy. The coalition thought they could break humanity's spirit by taking our world. Instead, they gave us a reason to show our true strength. Watch what happens next, and remember, this is what happens when you mistake humanity's patience for weakness." The Relentless moved towards Earth, its quantum core pulsing with deadly purpose. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see how the coalition's rule would end. Earth hung in space like a blue jewel, its surface scarred by coalition occupation. 300 coalition ships formed a defensive ring around the planet, their weapons aimed at the approaching Relentless. Behind them, 9 more human battleships emerged from quantum jumps, surrounding the alien fleet. Captain Walker stood on his bridge, looking at his home planet for the first time in months. "Send the message to all coalition ships around Earth. They have 5 minutes to surrender and leave, or face the same fate as their main fleet." The coalition commanders frantically discussed their options. They had seen the recordings of what happened to their mighty fleet. Some ships immediately broke formation, running for deep space. Others remained, trapped between fear of the humans and fear of their own leaders. "Sir," Lieutenant Thompson reported, "half of the coalition fleet is retreating. The rest they're powering up weapons." Walker nodded calmly. "They never learn. Signal the other battleships. Begin the quantum cascade." 10 human ships activated their quantum cores simultaneously. The space around Earth lit up with impossible colors as quantum webs formed between the remaining coalition vessels. This time, the destruction was even faster than before. 15 seconds to complete elimination, Thompson announced, watching her screens. Coalition ships are being erased. 10 seconds. 5. Complete. Earth's orbit is clear, sir. For the first time in months, no alien ships threatened humanity's homeworld. The 10 human battleships took up defensive positions around Earth, their black hulls standing out against the planet's blue atmosphere. In his hidden base, Admiral Reynolds received the signal he had been waiting for. Send the message to all coalition worlds and their leadership. Show them what true power looks like. The message played across every screen in the galaxy. You took our world, thinking we would break. Instead, we showed you what humanity does when pushed too far. Your fleets are gone. Your occupation is over. Now you have a choice. On the Relentless, Walker continued the message. Humanity offers these terms. First, all coalition forces will withdraw from every occupied world, not just Earth. Second, your leaders will face trial for their wars of conquest. Third, you will free every species you've enslaved. The galaxy watched as images showed the 10 human battleships around Earth, their quantum cores pulsing with barely contained power. Each ship could erase hundreds of others from existence. Together, they could reshape the galaxy itself. If you refuse these terms, Walker's voice carried across space, we will visit every coalition world one by one. We will remove your ships, your stations, and your weapons from existence. You tried to make humanity kneel. Now you understand why we never will. The coalition's response came within an hour. Their supreme leaders, hiding in their fortress worlds, had seen enough. They accepted all terms without argument. "Captain," Thompson called out, excitement in her voice, "we're receiving transmissions from Earth's surface. The resistance fighters have taken control of every major city. The coalition ground forces are surrendering everywhere." Walker allowed himself a small smile. "Send word to Admiral Reynolds. Tell him Operation Quantum Dawn is complete. Earth is free." Cheers erupted across every human ship and settlement. After months of occupation, after being pushed to the edge of extinction, humanity had not only survived, they had changed the galaxy forever. On 1,000 worlds, oppressed species began their own rebellions, knowing that humanity's quantum ships would support their fight for freedom. The Coalition's age of terror was over. "Sir," Thompson said softly, "what should we do with the quantum cores now?" The Coalition feared this technology for a reason. Walker looked at Earth through his view screen, watching as the sun rose over his home planet. "We'll do what humanity has always done, Lieutenant. We'll use our power to protect the weak, to fight tyranny, and to make sure no species ever has to face what we faced." The Relentless and its sister ships maintained their watch over Earth as the sun rose on a new era. Humanity had been pushed to its limits, and in response, they had reshaped the galaxy. The message was clear to all who watched: never underestimate human determination, never threaten their home, and never, ever expect them to submit. The age of the Coalition was over. The age of humanity had begun.